Greeting players and parents, and welcome to another Less is More pitching video tutorial. Today we're going to look at some of the pitchers I've been working with from the Virginia Venom, a travel baseball squad with pitchers ages 9 to 11. We're going to start out here with Chase, a client of mine for the past 2 years, and we're going to kind of watch some of the things that he's doing warming up for this baseball game and getting ready to start it, and see some things that he does very, very well and some things possibly that he needs to improve on, along with the other two kids that we're going to see, because a lot of the things that we're going to see here are the types of adjustments that a lot of pitchers are going to need to make at this age. Some of the great things about Chase's delivery is his ability to collect up at that leg lift and then get very athletic when he separates his hands. As those hands separate, we see the elbows come up to a great power position right before the front foot hits the ground. By doing this, we allow the hip turn to create the power in the delivery and ultimately finish the pitch the way that we really like, forward and down. Even though we do see that front leg stiffen up a little bit, he still gets on top and is very athletic with the upper torso, which allows him to generate some good hand speed and finish the pitch down. Chase here is doing a good job of doing that. I guess what I don't like, if you watch his head through release point, he pulls kind of hard with that glove and ends up having his head fall off pretty far to the first base side. That, coupled with a really, really stiff front knee, sometimes has him pull that baseball. Did a better job of it there, actually. Pull that baseball across his body whenever he's missing away from a right-handed hitter. Usually that's the case. That chin is kind of falling off the midline, if you will. That's the straight line that splits the pitcher in half and would go straight down the middle to the plate. You want to try to keep your delivery as consistent as possible along that midline as we go down and out and then finish. Those last two, and there he is in good fielding position. He fielded it with his ankle, but stays with the ball and gets the out. It's a nice job there. Here we got a slow motion version of that last pitch, and we see him collect up. Nice job here, real tall, hands separate, and then boom, there. That's those elbows, but you can see that head falling off to the side a little bit. Good job finishing and using your ankle there in that last play before the slow motion one to field the ground ball. So we really see a couple good things, a couple things to work on, but usually that's the case with kids this age. You know, from ages, I guess they start pitching around age 9 up through high school is the kind of things that we want to focus on. Next we got Matt here, our resident lefty of the game, and we see him also do a nice job of lift that leg up. I would like to see, you know, all of my pitchers be as consistent with his release point and with his delivery as a whole. We see good handbrake, good finish. What I would like to see more of is maybe a little bit more tempo and athleticism. He looks like he's guiding the baseball in just a little bit, where you'd rather see a lot more, I don't want to say violence, but you want to say, you know, athletic, good, hard hip turn, good finish. See how he can kind of just balance on that front leg and doesn't really get that front foot over the front side. Usually that's just from trying to control the zone too much without accelerating. We had one of our only pickoffs of the day there, and I just wanted to point out something for us young guys, especially lefties. Here it is in slow motion. You see him barely lift his leg and he's already going towards first base. A good left-handed pickoff move starts looking at the batter at the very least, and you want to lift that leg up as high as you would as if you were going to pitch the pitch home, then go to the first base bag. Otherwise you give it away right away that you're picking off. Anyways, back to a few more pitches here from Matt, and again you see a little bit better job getting extended over that front side and finishing. He was stealing there, and obviously we've got to do a better job of kind of changing our looks and timings, but certainly that's a discussion for another day. So what I want to continue to look at is how tall and how balanced he stays throughout the entire delivery. It really ends up being kind of a balancing act between how fast and athletic and quick through the zone we can be, and also how controlled and tall and under the balance, you know, be balanced throughout the entire delivery. He's got the balance and the timing and the posture down pat, but we've got to learn how to maintain that balance and posture through a quicker, kind of more, I guess, like I said, a little bit more violence we want out of that. Maybe pull that glove down and turn it in a little bit better. Not falling off the midline. He stays through that midline all the way and finishes. Look, right there, like you say, there's no pulling off to the side. Sorry about this video here, going a little crazy. But like I said, you want to do a little bit better job here. Here we go. Let's get back on to... There we go, back onto the pitcher here. Come on. And it's not going to work. There we go. Well, we want to see one more here. Another pitch. Watch how straight up and down he stays. Up, down, and out, and finishes the pitch. We just want to learn how to do that with a little bit better tempo and a little bit better velocity on the pitch will result from that. Because he's not even getting all the way extended through that hand there. But when he does that, he'll be able to generate a little bit better velocity. Last but not least, we've got EA here. And EA is kind of the opposite of our last of Matt. You see he's got all kinds of athleticism and quick body movements. Unfortunately, he doesn't stay along the midline quite as much as we would like. I think kind of if Matt could learn from EA and EA could learn from Matt, we would kind of have two pitchers exactly where we want them to be. Kind of falling out, watch that front foot kick out and around towards the plate as opposed to staying tall and keeping those hips up underneath. Watch here, lift, out, and then down. See that glove finish down, so he's able to get to the target pretty well, but if he doesn't really focus on his finish, then he'll find that ball kind of coming out from a really low arm slot, which we don't want. We want, well, it depends on the pitcher, but we want most of the time these young guys throwing with, you know, those elbows up, shoulders square, chin to the target. You know, when they get older and they get to college ball and their coach wants them to lower that arm slot, you know, that's one thing. But right now we want to create that good, repeatable delivery and a repeatable arm slot. All three of these guys throw fastballs and changeups, and we've worked throwing both pitches inside and outside and kind of speeding the hitter up, slowing them down, which all three of them did a great job of today. EA, they're inducing a ground ball and getting the out there, so it's really what we're looking for as best as we can. But as we continue to look at its mechanics, you can really see him get that front hip kind of locked on line and ride that front hip out all the way down to foot strike, which is something that I really, really like about his delivery. If you want to talk about big leaguers who do that, we want to look at guys like Tim Lincecum and maybe Giovanni Gallardo, which is really, really good from one standpoint. However, we also see him, you know, leaning back a little bit there and kind of throwing with that shoulder leaning back behind. So we kind of want to make some adjustments there, you know, keeping that butt up underneath and kind of out past the heels a little bit as we ride down and towards the target to release point. This is just going to allow us to get that ball in the strike zone a little bit more consistently when we're throwing the baseball at maximum effort. Again, you know, his chin stays on line pretty good, but his front knee also stiffens out a little bit. And I mean, that's not to say that big leaguers don't do that sometimes. You know, lots of guys, you know, throw off of a stiff front leg, but sometimes it makes it difficult to locate the pitch down in the zone to do that. So here we're going to have a slow motion version of EA's mechanics. Let's have a look here and see what we got. So as he comes set, you're going to see what I'm talking about. You know, ride that front hip out, but watch where that front foot goes. You know, collects up, hips forward, but that foot is out, and he sits. And there we get to the target, and that's a great release point right there. You want to learn how to elevate that back foot a little bit more instead of stopping it short. But overall, we're really getting what we want out of him, except for we just want to get a little straighter with that front heel and that front foot kind of staying a little bit more along the midline and staying upright instead of leaning back behind as we go forward. Finishing up here, we got a few more pitches from EA trying to kind of make finish out this game for us. Right there, kind of a funny hip turn and that back knee kind of jumping through there. What we really want is that knee to turn and kind of explode upwards with the hip turn, leaving that foot back there, and then come around. You don't want it to come through with the pitch because that kind of takes the hip turn completely out of it. Whereas the hips generate our power, we need to learn as these these pitchers get a little bit older that they don't need to jump and push off to get the velocity. Instead, they just want to learn how to get athletic and kind of get that butt out into that athletic position when the foot hits the ground, and then use that back foot and, more importantly, the hips to generate the power that we're looking for out of the release point. So as we go here, we see him finish up, like I said, with a few more pitches here and really generating good hand speed down and out. Overall, the guys did a great job. I think they ended up losing the game 4-3, but maybe only giving up 2 earned runs. Not a lot of walks, a couple strikeouts, and it was overall a really, really positive experience all around from all 3 guys that I got to see throw. And it's just an opportunity for us to get better by seeing some things on this video, and if it's something that you see in your little leaguer and you want them to kind of get an idea of what they're going for, we want to work on these types of things. So that about wraps it up from for this edition of Less is More Pitching Tutorials. Please feel free to post any questions you might have, and I'll get to them as soon as I can.